Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the conversation. I'm excited for a couple of reasons. One, because of my guest, Shari Braendel, but also because we're going to have a conversation about color, which I'm always interested in learning more about. And of course, actually, that was two things. Okay, the third thing is, of course, it's my birthday month. So I'm going to celebrate all month. So, which is why I'm excited to have this conversation with Shari because, I feel that sometimes when we go through a new year, sometimes it's good for us to just kind of let go of those things that are no longer working for us, and color choices could be that. So, Sherry, thank you so much for joining us.
Very happy to be here and happy birthday.
Thank you. So, before we get started in the conversation, what made you decide to focus on what you do?
I love fashion. I have loved color and style since I have been a little girl. And it just never got out of my system. I thought I would be an English teacher because my English teacher dressed so well. And I thought, well, I get to dress well if I'm an English teacher, but that didn't pan out. And so I did get a degree in fashion merchandising and have just loved being in the industry.
Mm. So, when it comes to color, Sherry, what impact does it have on us when we are really not wearing the color that we're meant to?
I truly believe that when we look in the mirror, we can see when color works and when it doesn't. And I think maybe it's possible that women don't notice it until they actually have the right colors on. And once you learn your best colors, there's something that happens when you see yourself and you think, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I had those dark circles, or I didn't see those lines before. And the right color just freshens us up, and the wrong color will drag us down.
So and how does someone discover that right color, but also when they do, how do they transition? Because I know, and I know a lot of times when we're going through those closets, it's like, "Oh, I'm not ready to get rid of that because I've invested a lot of money, but then you want to move on. So how does that process work?
There are a couple of ways to get a color analysis, and one I would recommend an in-person color analysis by a local consultant. We have them on our website. You can find them. We have them all over the US. But if that's not possible, we have consultants that also do virtual analysis. And then if that isn't possible and you're like, I'm not ready to do that, we have a free quiz on our website. So you can start with that and kind of just work your way up. And there are ways that we work with you if you're unsure of your quiz results. But one of the reasons that I am opposed to the seasonal color analysis, and I know that's kind of like a bad word in today's world because everybody is like, oh my goodness, I have to be a season. I'm a summer, a winter, a spring, and autumn. You probably heard that. But one of the reasons I'm opposed to that is because they pull your hair back and they make a decision on whether your skin is warm or cool. Well, research shows that most women are neutral. And so the way that I have determined color analysis the best to be, and I'm getting to my point here, is that when we take the hair into consideration, how your hair currently is, we take your eye color, your skin color, your level of skin color for your ethnicity. So whether you're light, medium, or deep skin tone, and then look at contrast levels. So the number of things we look at. But when you are identified as a season, so it's one of the four, you are so stuck on the colors that are in your swatches. You go into your closet and you say, oh my goodness, I have to have this exact color. I was trained in the 80s. I was one of the first, the original color consultants in the US back in the 80s. And so I remember boutique owners hated us because we would take our swatches into a store and we'd say, I have to have this blue. And they'd say, well, we have kind of this blue. It's close. Nope, can't do that blue. Have to do this blue. So when I realized that system wasn't working, I actually redefined the system to take away the seasons. We still tell people you're a combination of whichever two seasons that they are a combination of, but really we're looking at someone's dominant color characteristic. So the long story around to a short answer, maybe it's the other way around, is that what I like to do is tell people, take your swatches, go into your closet and see if with the color outfits of my shirt in my closet fit into these swatches? Would they, if there was a new color, would it look like it would fall there? And then our consultants will help you figure out how to work with what you have. We don't want you to get rid of your whole wardrobe. How can we make this work until you decide that you are not going to wear that color any longer?
I like your strategy because then it takes the stress away, the overwhelm, and also it allows people to gradually get to that, ideal color that is for them. So one of the questions I was thinking about as I was walking this morning, Sherry, and I was thinking I need to ask you this: do we change colors like as we go through different seasons of our life? We'll get, like we're 20s, but now we're in our 50s. Does it change or does it just remain the same throughout our life?
All right. So the answer that I'm going to give you is very controversial. But
Okay,
remember, I'm the OG. I've been around
that's
for
right.
years and years and years doing
That's right.
color. And I will tell you that your color does change.
Okay.
Most of the consultants out there nowadays are saying it doesn't. You're going to stay the same. But you cannot tell me that when your hair turns gray, that you look the same in the colors that you used to wear when you had vibrant coloring and you had maybe skin tone that was fresh and young and what we were like back then, right? We can still stay vibrant looking, but we have to work with the coloring that we have now. Also, women get sick, they go through disease, they go through weight loss, weight gain, our skin color changes, we lose pigment in not only our hair, we'll lose it in our eyes, even eye color. Eyebrows start to fade away. We have to work with all of that as we go forward. So I like to say if you've had a color analysis in your younger years, you really need to get one now because you're not the same person that you were back in your 20s and 30s and perhaps even 40s.
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking about that. I said, as I get closer to a birthday, which will be in a few days from now, I always look at, well, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to embrace? Is it a different color? Because it's like a color I've always worn, now that I'm in a different season of my life. So thank you so much for sharing that because, sometimes we get stuck, like the blue eyeshadow phase, we get stuck.
Yeah, we probably need a makeover too. Like, let's take a look, and our consultants do that. We look at your
Okay.
makeup, what you're looking at. And since we're on video and audio, can I look at your color and just kind of
Sure.
give you a little bit of
All right, Sherry, I'm ready.
birthday I birthday gift to you? So when I look at you, I do see that you have dark hair color. You have maybe a little bit of silver coming through at
Yes,
the
a little
at
bit. Yep,
the hairline.
yep, a little
You have,
bit.
what color are your eyes? Your eyes are brown, right? Dark
Yes.
brown, right?
Hmm.
Your skin tone, I would say, is light to medium,
That down. I'm
right?
figuring out that.
You don't have a deep skin tone. You have
Mhm,
light to medium skin tone.
mhm.
And when I look at you, if I had to decide, are you warm or cool? You're probably closer maybe on your makeup. We really look at people and try to keep in that neutral range. But you might be a little bit, you tend a little warm. You have a little bit of bronze to your skin tone, right? At least on your face, your neck looks a little more, maybe a little more neutral. But here's the thing. If I were to look at you and say, okay, I'm going to put you only in a warm, I would move you and say you would be a warm autumn, right? But I look at you with that gray coming through, the silver coming through, and your hair so dark. What I'm going to look at is I'm going to determine that your dominant color characteristic is deep. So we're trying to find 2 out of 3, 2 out of skin, hair, eyes, and then we're going to take that contrast. You also have high level of contrast. You're kind of like a Snow White. So you're you're a black woman Snow White. How's that?
Okay.
So we mimic what we're wearing and what's
Mhm,
happening on top.
mhm,
So
mhm,
with you, you've got like black hair, light skin. You
mhm.
could wear black and white really well together, right?
Okay. Okay.
If I were to make you a warm autumn, just go by your skin tone, you couldn't wear black and white. Especially with the gray that's coming through, black and white's going to be fantastic on you. I would stay away from pastels. You're going to be better in strong, rich colors. Yeah, you would get a combination of the autumn, combination of the winter colors. You can do reds and vibrant greens and blues and purples and hot pink beautifully. I would also go a little deeper on your lipstick. So there's balance from the eyes to the lip. We want that there to be some balance there.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna watch this video over again myself. Thank you, Sherry. But you know, it's interesting you say that because I do have like orange, like this like orange dress, a couple of orange dresses, a couple of reds. And it's like, well, one, I just feel more confident when I'm wearing them. But also, I wore a red dress a couple of weeks ago, and it was just like a little red summer dress. I got so many compliments. I'm like, wait, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep wearing this. So yeah, so thank you so much for that. Nice little birthday present for
And
me.
I do think that probably moving to silver accessories
Mhm.
with the more the gray comes through, just move to silver. But right now you can do gold and silver.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And again, I'm going to watch this video over again myself. So, Sherry, with all that you do, because I know you are an author, you do speaking engagements, you've got a team. How do you manage to stay organized? Like, is there some tricks with your time management or just the way you create a home and a workspace?
You know, it's that's an interesting question because I've always I would say I don't think of myself as organized, but I'm probably highly organized because I have to, right? But one of the things that I do, Janet, is I batch my time. So there are certain days during the week I film my YouTube videos. There are certain days of the week I am a podcast guest. There are certain days that I really just if I'm going to have meetings, I also have 10 executive coaching students that have gone through my academy. And so they want to go a little higher level. And so I take 10 students a year to 10 clients a year on that. So the first week of the month, that's my individual meetings with them. I just batch everything that I do.
And you know what? I think that's a great strategy. And I think a lot of people feel like they've got to squeeze everything in here, there, and everywhere. But when you do batch, you're more strategic, you get things done. And then also you feel a little bit more balanced because you feel like, okay, I've done what I needed to do for work. Now it's time for me to, spend time and have some fun for me. So
Yeah,
thank you so much for
you're
that
welcome.
strategy.
And you don't feel guilty about it
Mm-mm.
because when you batch your time, you actually are more efficient.
Yep.
So you get your work done. You're like, oh, I didn't realize I had some free time here. I might go get my nails done.
And you were so right. It happened to me like a couple of weeks ago. It was like I batched my time. I had a little extra time. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put my sneakers on and go outside because it's cool today. So I don't have to worry about all of the warm weather. Well, Sherry, thank you so much for your time. It has been a pleasure. How can people connect with you? Get a color analysis?
Dialbycolor.com. Just go there and you'll see the options. Look under appointments, find the free quiz. And if someone is interested in becoming a consultant, we've got information for you there as well.
And of course, all of the watching as well as you listening, I will have all of Sherry's, connections on the show page so you can connect with her directly. Sherry, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.